Well, hey there, and welcome back for another Secondhand Opinions video. I'm Jason Alderman, the internet's favorite fat mouth fat ass, bringing you fat stacks of fuck facts. You may have noticed some time ago I made a little change to my channel, and I stopped talking about random outdoor gear and stuff, and started talking about politics directly. Most of that was in an effort to exercise my freedom of speech, because I felt like freedom of speech, especially on big platforms of alt tech and alt media, were really yanking the choke chain on freedom of speech and the First Amendment, I believe. And I thought it was getting a little absurd, so I figured it would be a good idea to get out there and make a point about freedom of speech. And does that cost me the idea that YouTube will ever monetize this channel? Sure, but they're taking away monetizations left and right anyway, and you shouldn't ever have expected to get paid from this crap in the first place. It's not like they're trying to get you rich, they're trying to get them rich. So, freedom of speech was my first kind of like, hey, they're doing that. They're also coming after your Second Amendment. They're obviously attacking at Christianity, you know, when they get the chance here as well, too. I believe that's still your First Amendment. The issue here is not that I wanted to talk to you about the First Amendment so much as I wanted to talk to you about all the other freedoms and rights that they're rescinding and restricting right now in the wake of this pandemic, if you will. World War Sneeze is not about nuclear weapons. It's not even really about coronavirus.
I think we're in the middle of a massive experiment worldwide. The experiment is, will people listen to scientists? It'd be interesting if we all paid attention to what scientists say. The recommendations of scientists: listen to scientists. Listen to scientists. Obey scientists. It's an interesting experiment we're in the middle of.
Too big of a number for us to understand.
It's about how many of your rights and freedoms can we take away from you? How much could we make you willingly sacrifice? You see, there's a lot of debate about your Second Amendment rights in the past decades or so. But the truth is, until we gave up some of our rights, there weren't any restrictions. I believe up to about 60 years ago, you were allowed to own a fully automatic firearm. You could buy rifles like that from Sears and Roebuck. And you were absolutely allowed to use whatever was handy and necessary to defend the life of yourself or your children. Having rapid fire firearms is nothing new. Outlawing them is much more new. So when we gave up our Second Amendment rights, we never got them back. And the more we relinquish, the less we will have. And they'll just keep trying to tell you, oh, this is the way it's always been. These are the rules you have to follow. Well, they're doing the same thing right now to your First Amendment, man. Many states, like mine here in Oregon, have tyrannical lockdown orders. And this tyrannical Democrat stomping on your First Amendment's rights, and many other laws, by the way, in so much as the idea that, yes, your governor is allowed to make certain kind of rules, etc., in certain times. They do have the right in emergency times to do certain things. But they don't have the right to make indefinite laws. How long have we been locked down now? We're towards the end of February, let's call it March. So March, April, and now May is half over. How long are we expected to comply with this When does it become not legal anymore? In theory, once the prohibitive becomes inhibitive, it should go the wayside. Didn't we learn this in the 20s? Prohibition is just going to piss people off. And now you see people storming Virginia beaches. Let's work our way back to freedom of speech, because that's kind of where we started and where I want to finish this video. The reason I'm bringing this up to you today, all these things about big tech and leftist government destroying your rights and people relinquishing them willingly or otherwise, is that you need to be aware that you need to start fighting for your rights right now if you haven't been. This is a big deal, people. The reason I say this is a big deal is if you've been watching anything else on digital media, YouTube, BitChute, Gab, Minds, blah, 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 then you're aware that conservative media has been being censored for a couple of years now, pretty well straight on. Just fact of the matter, Facebook, Twitter, all of it, just everything. Yeah, if you post certain topics or certain words on YouTube, they'll take down your videos, etc. But usually they leave many of the big players alone, unless they touch on certain things that are just kind of like community-wide now understood, not ever communicated by YouTube, just understood that you don't talk about certain people's whistles and their names, and you don't talk about World War Sneeze by name, etc. We all know YouTube has certain unwritten rules. Tim Pool, in my opinion, is just center of the leftists, not a center-left individual. But that's okay. Tim has his hang-ups and derangements too. But I consider Tim to be very staunchly attached to the leftist ideology. Like, he's very, very indoctrinated in the church of stupid shit. He thinks that saying yes and a no to a question makes him not wrong. Well, it doesn't make you not wrong, guy. It just makes you kind of a dipshit. But a dipshit should still not have videos pulled down and shadow banned. And I know, like I said, YouTube and Twitter and Facebook shadow bans a lot of people. But check it out. Conservatives is one thing. We all understand that they're going to come after conservatives. Now, Tim Pool is a widely watched individual who's moderately left, and they just censored him by literally just hiding his video. And it was average Tim Pool video. Wasn't terrible, wasn't great, but it was on a decent topic. And one of the things that I can say is that, he kind of poked the bear by saying YouTube in the video. They're going to look at that video. Like, if I say the words, YouTube is going to demonetize this, it'll probably get looked at by the algorithm a couple of times, and maybe by a person, but this channel's not monetized anyway, so fuck them. That's my freedom of speech. So, what I'm getting at is Tim Pool does a video talking about how Virginia Beach is like flocked with people even though it's supposed to be closed. And they pull his video down because likely he was talking about defying the system or whatever 1984 Orwellian fucking psychosis building bullshit they got planned. They pulled his video down and he's on their side. He's critical of them, yeah, because he's tired of looking like an asshole hanging out with these people. He's trying to help course correct, but he's one voice in a sea of screaming fanatics. He can't course correct shit, and it doesn't matter how hard we amplify his position because there's cognitive dissonance baked into the cake. Like, he can't convince his own team to change. Like, they hate on him because he sees some of the value in some conservative viewpoint. Doesn't make him want to be a conservative, and it certainly doesn't make him want to be a Trump supporter, although sometimes he tries to dance around the bush a bit. Usually that's followed within 48 hours or less of him, like, immediately clinging back to the left, being like, no, I'm still your friend, don't hate me. Anyways, if they're censoring Tim Pool, how long before they're censoring everybody? I'm little, so I get by. I sneak on by. They don't care. I have no audience. But Tim Pool's a lefty with thousands and thousands of people watching him every day, every video. And they straight just shadow banned his video. They just straight hid it. They like swept it under the rug. But no, there's no Tim Pool video this morning. He didn't put anything out. Cough, cough, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Guys, go exercise your rights. Let's all get familiar with our rights. Let's all go out and start exercising them dramatically, directly. Let's do a little research. I know you're lazy. Just like me, I know you'd rather play some dumb shit like Raid Shadow Legends than look up the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, but it behooves you to defend yourself, and one of the best defenses is a great offense. So go offensively use your rights, exercise your rights, speak up about it. Wear a mask or don't, but get together with people. If you want a social distance, fine, social distance. I don't really believe all the fucking hype in this stupid shit anyway, but if you want to buy it, buy it. Don't expect me to sit on it. It's not my whoopee cushion. How about that? So, you guys really need to look into it. I'm going to do the same thing. Like, let's go exercise our rights and tell them that they can't push us around. They can't invent laws out of nowhere and expect them to be upheld indefinitely. Especially over something like this. I know they got a lot of you guys scared. Don't be scared. It's not that I don't have compassion. I can just laugh. It's like being scared of a garter snake. Gardener snake's gonna piss and poop and musk on you. If it bites you, it's maybe scary if you've never been bitten by a gardener snake, but little mouth can't do much. So, there's nothing to be afraid of. Is it real? Yeah. Is it a real snake? You betcha. Is it poisonous? No. Gonna get you? No, probably not. Can it bite you? Yeah. What's the worst thing it's gonna do on you? Poop. Once you get rid of it and let it go, wash your hands of it, it goes away. Good advice, people. Well, all right, let's all pretend like our opinions matter. Leave that shit in the comments below. And remember, this is YouTube, so do all the things.